Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam Allman.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we'll be playing the 7th part of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, covering Chapter 6, 3 Days of Excess. But before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
I don't know. I mainly just worked and nothing to report.
I guess I have to report I finished Harrow the Ninth, and yeah, that was a book, all right. That was I really appreciate the author giving me fanfic AUs in the book that I can then look up and read without spoiling myself on the next book. I think that's genius.
Yeah. So now that you've read Homestuck Dave Cat fanfiction, you should just read Homestuck. I couldn't be I couldn't be specific on the kind of Homestuck fanfiction it was until you got to the abso-fucking-lutely heard around the world when Moyer Quirk starts narrating in Gideon's voice. It's so good, I tell you.
So here's the thing: is my wife, who I love with all of my heart, is also a Homestuck person, and she's explained to me Dave Cat stuff multiple times. Some of it is stuck in my brain a little bit, but I just truly couldn't care less.
Yep, I get it. I totally get it. But
here's the thing. Dave, what's his name from Homestuck?
Dave Strider.
Is not Gideon Nav. Gideon Nav is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. She's a disaster.
I'm happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish. But Dave Strider is exactly Gideon Nav.
I think that is factually untrue. Even if the character was born from that seed, the environment and the authorship has changed the character from where it started.
Maybe so. But yeah, get ready for Nona, because Nona is nothing like anything else.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about Lock Tube, is every book is nothing like every other book.
But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no. So I had a very good time with that. I'm taking a small break to indulge in fanfic. And then also I somehow found myself starting up just to have something to do while playing games, or having a game to play while hanging out with people. I started up Three Houses again for some reason, and it just was instantly reminded again of how much I truly despise it blows my mind how they've created such an incredible hey, the church is evil setup in that game, and it feels like they just didn't follow through really. And in general, that game is I was talking with a friend about it earlier, and it is wild how much I can love that game and how much I can hate it at the exact same time. And that's all I have to say about that.
Cool. Yesterday I fired up the Minecraft server on my NAS for the first time in a hot minute, and me and Scarlet and Storm played Minecraft for about 4 or 5 hours. And big recommend. You should definitely have 2 children that love to play video games so that you can then play Minecraft with them for a bunch of hours. That's my recommendation for the week. Everyone go out and do that.
I mean, listen, me and my wife would definitely like that. That sounds incredible. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it was really good. And Storm is only 4, but he's better at video games than a lot of grown-ups I know. And he'll still get to things that are developmentally beyond him, and he can't figure out the puzzle or what it's trying to tell him. But he's been playing Super Mario Odyssey just here and there over the week, and I went to help him with something, and he was on the Wooded Kingdom, whatever.
Oh yeah, I know which one.
Yeah, he was on that one by himself. I was like, oh my gosh, like you've gotten through a whole world by yourself, because usually he just takes over the T-Rex in the first world, uh, and runs around. That's what he usually would do. But here he was on a full other thing, and I was like, oh wow, you must have like gotten past the boss and you did a great job, yada 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 yada, and then he was like, "Oh, Dad, watch this. It's funny when I die." And I was expecting him to jump off the edge, float into a bubble, and then get brought back onto the ground with assist mode. But he jumps off and dies and loses 10 coins. As a 4-year-old, he got to the third world in Mario Odyssey on regular, not on baby kid mode, and that makes me
Amazing.
really proud. But yeah, he's a cool kid. My kids are cool, like him a lot. Other than that, Etrian Odyssey and Ace Attorney continue to be fantastic, and just accidentally erase 6 to 8 hours of my day between the two of them.
Yeah.
I got to the plot twist of what little plot there is in Etrian Odyssey. I got to the plot twist in the second stratum, which was really, really cool. But then the fourth floor, I think, of the second stratum, everything's hard, and I'm doing other things for a bit before I go and give it a shot, because it was hard. But yeah. Other than that, I played some Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which we now have to say Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door 2004, because there's another one that's 2024. But yeah, so let's listen to some music, and then we'll talk about what happened in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door 2004.
So, I'm gonna warn y'all, my notes might not be too great, mainly because I just wasn't feeling this chapter. I didn't like it.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah,
so I was just like, yeah, I'll write some notes and shit. But yeah, I don't know.
It's not
I wasn't
nearly as
feeling
good
it.
as the other Penguin Detective chapter, that's for sure.
That's how I felt.
I am shocked. This might be my favorite chapter of the game.
Well, I'm glad for you.
We can
Feel free to flesh out the memorable moments.
we can
I'll do my best.
We can discuss this more. Yeah, at memorable moments, I guess. But Mario and friends head back to Rogueport on Cortez's ship, but some of the folks who were stranded, including Francesca and Frankie, decide to stay at Keelhaw Key and build a life there. Upon arriving in Rogueport, Mario gets Peach's email, which talks about how tech is helping her and she should have more information soon. Mario returns to the Thousand Year Door, and a fancy museum-looking building appears in the middle of a city on the map. Mario and friends report to Frankly, who says the map is pointing towards the deluxe rich people zone of Poshley Heights, and the Crystal Star should be in Poshley Sanctum, a shrine to the stars there. No fearsome monsters or dangerous dungeons either. It'll be a breeze. To get there, they just have to ride the Excess Express, the most luxurious train around. But to get a ticket for the Excess Express, they'll need Don Pianta's help again, because you have to be rich or famous to get a ticket there. And pretty sure Mario's been established as famous in the fiction, but whatever.
But no one's given him a ticket already.
True.
Also, I love that this is a Mario game where two different chapters are like, oh, you're gonna have to go do some favors for the mob boss to get where you need to go.
Yeah. They go to Don Pianta's office and find he's terribly sick. His lackeys say that it's because he's been so lonely and worried about Francesca. Mario and friends know where she is, so they agree to go fetch her. They board Cortez's ship and sail all the way back to Keelhaul Key, where they find the couple in the jungle, searching for Francesca's wedding ring, which they lost. Once Mario finds the ring for them, they're happy to go back to Rogueport and visit Don Pianta.
Yeah, I hope you like backtracking, because now you get to backtrack the Chapter 5 dungeon in Chapter 6. Do it again, why not?
Yeah, I listen, my love for this chapter starts when the chapter starts and there's the big chapter screen. The before bit, no, that sucked. I didn't like it. Especially because one of the trouble center things also sends you deep into the chapter 5 dungeon again. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back in there.
Also, you have to go through the Chapter 1 dungeon to get the up arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back in Rogueport, Don Pianta reunites with Francesca and Frankie and announces he's going to retire and names Frankie as new head of the Pianta Syndicate. It's a whole thing. But Mario did Don Pianta another favor, so he's glad to give him tickets for the Excess Express. On their way out, Mario's partner is like, hell yeah, now we can go get the Crystal Star in Poshley Heights. But then Beldam pops out of the shadows and is like, interesting information. I'll just have to go get the star before you. She retreats. Mario and friends board the Excess Express. Chapter 3 6 Days of Excess. Chapter 6 3 Days of Excess. Sorry.
I thought it was a bit.
No, it was a failure. Mario and friends are chilling in their cabin on the Excess Express, excited for the 3-day ride to Poshley Heights. However, they notice a piece of paper on the ground by the door. It says, "Don't go to Poshley Heights. Get off the train now, or a sticky, yummy doom awaits it." Could this threat be from Beldam? Mario and friends walk around the passenger cars and meet a bunch of kooky characters, including a penguin named Pennington, who claims to be a detective. I like to imagine that he speaks with a Benoit Blanc voice.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh, absolutely, yes.
By the way, they didn't actually announce any information, but they did announce the title of the next Knives Out mystery. And I am excited. It's coming out next year, apparently.
I am a slut for Rian Johnson. I've seen I saw all of his movies in like 2008-ish, and then ever since I keep myself updated on everything he does, because the man's incredible. Like, even his most mediocre work is still like unique and fascinating.
Mm-hmm. I specifically love the Knives Out series, because after the first one, it's like, oh wow, he subverted the mystery genre, but that's a trick you can't pull off twice. And then he's like, watch me.
Yeah, and you know, I know a lot of people who are like, yeah, but the second one, like, and I'm like, listen, if you want to say it's a weaker mystery, sure, I think that's the point, but also as a counter, I don't know if I've ever seen a movie as emotionally cathartic as Glass Onion. Truly, holy shit.
I love Glass Onion.
So good.
So good.
Also Janelle Monáe.
True. Eventually, Mario and friends find the conductor and tell him about the threat. He's no help, though. On the way back to his cabin, Mario finds a crowd gathered in the dining car. Someone has stolen a pot of stew from the kitchen. It's a mystery, and Pennington is eager to solve it. All Pennington can really do is throw baseless accusations at people, so Mario takes it upon himself to find the culprit. It's not hard. There's a trail of stew leading to one of the passenger cabins. Mario enters and finds a fat toad. He accuses the toad of taking the stew, and he's like, what, so food goes missing and you blame the fat guy? Not cool. Turns out he did take it, though. Mystery solved!
This did suck. I didn't like this. Thanks to the Fat Phobia game from 2004.
Pennington is impressed with Mario's sleuthing skills. He says the conductor told him about the threatening note and asks Mario to come speak with him in his cabin. Mario meets up with Pennington, who says he will take Mario on as his apprentice. Also, Pennington has deduced from his appearance that he is obviously the famed Luigi.
I love this running joke.
Pennington baselessly suspects the wealthy Bob-omb family on board the train and suggests Luigi interrogate them. Luigi finds them arguing about what to get their son for his birthday, and the son asks Luigi to detect what he really wants, since he's a detective and all. Luigi also talks to some other folks on the train and finds out that the waitress lost her shell earrings, and a glamorous toad named Toodles lost her gold ring. And if you're me, you'll spend the entire first day desperately searching for the shell earrings and the gold ring because you think this is a timed side quest.
Yep.
Oh
But no,
no! Oh,
this is part of the main plot, and you just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I definitely clicked the A button on every single thing that looked like it could possibly be interactable in the entire car.
Yeah.
A lot.
Luigi eventually deduces that the Bob-omb child wants the train engineer's autograph because he dreams of being an engineer himself. Luigi gets the autograph and gives it to the kid. Mystery solved! It's now nighttime. On the way back to his room, the conductor tells Luigi that there's a missing blanket and he suspects there's a stowaway. Luigi finds an empty room and hides in there using Vivian's ability. A ghost appears. He's cursed to haunt this place. Ooh. Luigi's like, okay, whatever. Where's the blanket? The ghost says he'll tell him if he does him a favor. The ghost passed away in this cabin, but he thinks his luggage is still in the baggage car. His super secret diary is there, and he needs it back. Luigi fetches the diary and does not read it.
we know you don't read it because if you do read it, you get a game over.
Yet,
You do? I didn't even think about it. That's hilarious.
It's the game gives you so many warnings. I appreciate it. I think I love a fun non-standard game over like that.
Yeah, me too.
mm-hmm.
And I guess it's literally a game over where the ghost just flat out kills Mario.
Yep. Seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
But Luigi does not read the diary and gives it back to the ghost. The ghost gives Luigi the blanket. Luigi returns the blanket to the conductor. Mystery solved. However, it's getting late and Luigi still hasn't found any leads about the threatening letter. Luigi goes to bed. The next day, Luigi goes to Pennington's room to find that a businessman is there discussing a mystery. His briefcase has been stolen. It contains a sample of his company's new product, nitro honey syrup, which he claims can raise the dead. But if mixed with the calcium from a seashell and a bit of gold, it would explode. Pennington deduces that the person who left the threatening note must have stolen the briefcase along with the missing shell earrings and a gold ring. Luigi must find the thief. Luigi snoops around and finds a vital paper in the cabin of Zip Toad, a movie star who's riding on the train. He returns to Pennington, and the businessman confirms it's from the briefcase. Pennington says he hasn't seen Zip Toad today, so he might be hiding somewhere. Luigi heads back to his own room and sees another document from the briefcase. He hides using Vivian again. Zip Toad comes out of hiding, and Luigi captures him and brings him to Pennington. Zip Toad confesses and gives back the stolen goods. The train makes a scheduled stop at Riverside Station, an apparently abandoned station in the middle of nowhere. Zip Toad reveals himself to be Dupless, who's been acting under Beldam's orders. He escapes! Luigi returns the stolen goods to their rightful owners, then steps off the train. He finds that the train can't depart because someone raised the drawbridge, and it falls upon Luigi to explore the station and find the switch to lower the bridge. The station is a pretty good dungeon, and in there, Luigi finds a pair of Ultra Boots. With these, he can do a fancy super high jump. Nice!
Yeah, I really love in this dungeon all of the Metroid Prime puzzles that you have to do to like how do you pachinko Mario down to the correct place. I've always loved those in the various Metroids Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I am generally a fan of this dungeon as well. I will say there is a bit early on where they have one of those like platforming bits of like the the gears are being timed in a certain way, and you have to like jump from paddle to paddle to paddle across a gap. And I'm good at platforming. I don't know what happened. It just took me like 15 minutes to get past that stupid bit.
Sometimes platforming in a game that isn't actually a platformer just is hard for some reason. Even if, like this game, it isn't like, it's not like the controls are bad. It's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Famously, platforming in an RPG is one of the things that started to make Eli quit this podcast after Xenogears.
Oh.
Luigi also finds a bunch of weird smoky creatures called Smorg. We don't know they're called Smorg yet, but, you know. He dispatches them and flips the switch to lower the drawbridge. Luigi boards the train and goes to bed. The next morning, everything is quiet and it's spooky. The passengers are nowhere to be seen. Then the Smorg from the station appear outside the train, totally surrounding it. Luigi heads to the baggage car, where he finds that they've gotten inside the train. Luigi drives them out, then follows them to the top of the train, which is crawling with jerks. The jerks come together to form a single giant mass, which has the other passengers engulfed in it. Boss battle! The Smorg hits hard. It can be a tough fight.
Mm-hmm. Also, I really love their weird giant space flea from nowhere kind of vibes of just like, does this have anything to do with the X-Nauts or Beldum or anything? Nah. It's just a thing that you found and is now attacking the train, I guess. Okay.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't know what this thing is. It's just weird and creepy, and I kind of love it.
Mhm.
Luigi defeats the Smorg, and they all fly off the train. The conductor thanks Luigi for saving everyone. The train finally arrives at Poshley Heights. Luigi heads to Poshley's sanctum, only to find it closed down. But then Pennington shows up. He's the manager of the sanctum. The whole detective routine is just a hobby. Pennington unlocks the sanctum door and they head inside. The Shadow Sirens and Dupless are there. They swipe the crystal star and escape. However, Pennington says that was a fake, and the real crystal star is safe somewhere deep in the sanctum. But even Pennington doesn't know where it is. Luigi has to use his deduction and jumping skills to find it. He finds it! End of chapter!
Also, in the paint, you have to go in the painting to get it, and in the painting, if you use your excellent jumping skills to get to like the very top left portion of the map, there's a badge there that lets you look like Luigi, fitting for this chapter.
Mhm.
Yep.
And if you also bought the badge from that one merchant who has Wario that makes you look like Wario, and you wear both of them at the same time, you get Waluigi colors.
Oh
That's
my
so
god!
good.
I didn't know that. That's good. Back in the Exnaut lair, an Exnaut reports what happened to Grotus, who is furious about the Shadow Sirens falling for a fake crystal star. The Exnaut also whispers another troubling report to Grotus. What could it mean? Meanwhile, Peach returns to Tech's room. It tells her it has reached a conclusion. It says she has to escape from this place as soon as possible. It has discovered everything about Grotus's plans, including the reason Peach is being held here. Tech tells Peach everything, but we don't get to hear for some reason. Peach asks how she can escape when she doesn't even know where she is. Tech tells her this base is on the moon. She can escape, but she must follow its instructions exactly. Peach is concerned about what will happen to Tech if it helps her escape, but it tells her not to worry. Peach says she needs to email Mario before she goes. Peach starts typing, but then Grotus and some X-Nauts enter. They know about Tech's betrayal, and they're going to factory reset it. In its last moments, it manages to send the last email and tell Peach it loves her. Peach is distraught. Grotus does a villain laugh. It's sad. It's fucked up. Now it's time for some dumb Bowser shit. Cammy reports that the troops have found a secret passage under a rogue port. Bowser investigates, does another side-scrolling level, and finds a crystal star. However, it's the fake crystal star from the Glitz Pit Championship belt. The secret passage just led to Rockhawk's secret gem. Trombone sound effect.
Also, how does he have that? I have that. I went and did the glitz pin again. But also, this might be my favorite. This might be my favorite silly Bowser bullshit because it's really silly, and it also explains why the sewers are now full of Bowser minions, which are way tougher than what was there originally.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Also,
That-
it's funny when Rockhawk is doing his like jump kick thing at Bowser, and Bowser just ground pounds him. It's a good visual gag.
Mhm. And with that, we must away to the memorable moments section, and we will be right back.
So you remember that time a couple weeks ago where there's a trouble involving the Pit of 100 Trials, and I messed up multiple times, wasting so much of my life?
Yes.
It happened again.
No.
In this case, one of the, as I mentioned before, there is a trouble which I think is actually kind of just a silly fun one that I would like otherwise, where there's a Goomba who wants a girlfriend who's deep in Heel Hall Key's dungeon in the Pirate Grotto. And I went and did it. First time, no problem. I did that, and I did all the troubles, and I got the up arrow. I did all these things. It's like I'm doing all these things, and then I'll save, and I'll do the actual chapter next time I start playing. And then it turns out I didn't save the game.
No.
No.
So I had to do it again. And the second time, in my annoyed rush, I went and got all the way in the Pirate Grotto and then realized I never started the trouble, so he wasn't there. So I had to go back to Rogueport, start the trouble, go through. So I went to this dungeon 3 times for no reason. It was such a stupid time sink. That said, much better. One of the other troubles we get this week is a weird little fun one where involving Podsley, the Bean dude who, from the bar who had the letter for
Bobbery.
Bobbery. I don't know why my brain forgot Bobbery's name. It's a trouble from the mom to those kids in Twilight Town where she reveals that she used to date Podsley back in the day, and like she also used to be like an actress with like major ambitions, but right when she like landed a huge role, he just disappeared and left a note about not wanting to like get in her way of her career, but without him there, it all felt worthless, and so she left, ended up meeting someone else and having these kids. But she's been thinking about Podsley lately and heard that he's running a bar in Rogueport. And then you go talk to Podsley, and I'm really excited to see, where this story is going. And the way the story goes is you talk to him, and he goes, "I don't know who that is." Real talk, and he's just like, "I guess give her this message. Like, this sounds like, from what you say, like, I don't know, just tell her I do remember her, and that I said this." And it's like, okay, that's a fun subversion. And then you start to walk away, and if you don't walk away fast enough, he has a little bit of a dialogue where he's like, her name's Eve, and he's like, "Oh, Eve, ... And it's just like, motherfucker, did you just lie about that?
He's been established as a bitch baby.
He is a huge bitch baby. So yeah, that's just a weird quest I don't remember from my previous times playing the game. And I really like it. And you also get an item that's worth a lot of money. Speaking of Chapter 6 in general, my memorable moments are just... we've talked about how this game plays with, like, the formula it starts to set up really quickly and does a lot to stretch and play with it. This is probably the farthest it stretches the formula before it can break. And I appreciate how far it stretches. it takes because the Penguin mystery chapter in the first game also did a lot of weird things. Though that was chapter 7 and not chapter 6. It also did a lot of it did the whole Penguin murder mystery bit, and then did a whole dungeon with no story to it basically at all afterwards. Here instead, you have a good half of this chapter has no enemies to fight or like that sort of stuff. It's just pure little small character and plot stuff. And like, is it great in that way? No, but I appreciate it. It's fun. I like getting to know a lot of these characters. I like getting to do this little train adventure. And then like we said, the dungeon on the way I think it's really well designed. I love Smorg. And I think it's very funny that you beat the boss like basically 2/3 of the way, and then you actually get to the place and you finally get the crystal star. It feels very counter to the way the game has gone up to this point in a way that I personally found fun. But also, I will say I could guess part of why you're not super fond of it, because a lot of those things on the train involve walking back and forth on the train over and over and over again. And I think there could be less of that, and that would be nice.
Yeah, like I appreciate what it's trying to do, because almost all of the mysteries were subversions of their own. But when you have to walk across like 5 identical rooms basically to go back and forth between everything, I don't want to get to the end of it and find out, oh wait, no, it wasn't this guy. This guy just wanted an autograph, and I have to go all the way to the other end to get the autograph. I would have been happy if it was the bomb people. I would have been fine if they didn't subvert it and they had something going on there, and that was the end of that thing.
Also, just it has this whole mystery theme, but I never felt like I was sleuthing, and the mysteries all felt very low stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas
that's fair.
In the last game, it was like it's a penguin murder mystery and stuff. Mm-hmm. It felt more dramatic.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling this chapter, which maybe was partly because I was very tired when I played, but yeah.
One thing I did love about this chapter is all of Mario's yes/no dialogues.
Oh, yeah.
When the conductor asks you to go find the blanket, your yes option is call me Blanket PI. And then when the ghost is like, oh, but you have to go get my diary, you have fine or I don't help ghosts, which are both very good.
Yeah. The ghost thing is so silly. I love it.
I love, in general, all of the things that Mario is supposedly saying do not fit with any Mario characterization in the history of Mario. He would never say anything like this, but I'm glad that he does in the Paper Mario series.
Thousand Year Door Mario is equivalent to Skyward Sword Link in, wow, this incarnation's a real fucking sarcastic bitch.
There's even some of that in Super Mario RPG, like in the part where you can repeatedly say no to bringing Peach back to the castle, which is very funny.
Very good. Mario games are good.
Mario games are good. I agree.
I like Mario.
Speaking of snark and the writing of this game, when you're going to get Frankie and Francesca back, Francesca has her feelings hurt.
Oh God, yes.
Has to prove how
this
much
part
she loves
is great.
Her. And she says, well, you have to tell me I love you 100 times. And she goes, okay, I love you, A button. I love you, A button. I love you, A button. And then on the bottom, it pops up 5 times. And you're like, oh God. And so then you have to smash the A button 100 times to finish saying it. And it's fantastic.
I love it.
It's really good. It's really good. Also, I love that you basically help, like, this crime family's having a crisis of leadership, and you effectively seat new power on the throne who might actually be even more dangerous than the originals. Like, Francesca clearly is the one actually running the operation now, and I'm a little scared of what she's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's hilarious how in this chapter, technically, because of the pre-chapter 6 part after we come back from Cortez. In this chapter, we set them up on the island because they want to relax there and retire there. And then the first thing we do is we immediately go back and say, "No, you're coming home," and then they come home. There's
Yeah.
nothing in between it, which is hilarious to me.
That's just listen. Sometimes you're like, okay, this is where my life's going, and then life grabs you by the throat and goes, no, that's not what's happening.
Also, I want to talk a little bit about Thousand Year Door remake because it came out and there's stuff online about it now.
Yeah, I'm torn between wanting to know everything and wanting to wait until something somehow happens where I have the money to get the game and experience it myself, and I don't know what to do. But please tell things about it because I think it sounds really good.
Well, one thing about it is they redid all the music, of course, and added a bunch of new music. But also,
Yes.
like, I listened to some of it and I was like, wow, they went hard on this music. Like, I listened to the Rogueport theme and I was like, they might have gone too hard on this. This is like a little too intense for the hub area where I'm going to spend half the game because it's just wild.
I need to listen to this now.
It's
Okay,
real
I
good.
wasn't prepared. I just looked it up. I was not prepared for how much this is.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is a
lot.
lot.
Oh God. One thing I've heard about this, and I need to say specifically, this is me going off a Tumblr post. I'm ready to be proven wrong on this. But we've talked about, I think before, it was spoiled ahead of time that like, oh hey, Vivian is trans in the English outside of Japan now, and that's great, and I'm happy about that. But not only that, it seems as though specifically the thing that people are getting sharing the most, which is like her talking to Shadow Mario and going like, "Oh yeah, it took me some time to realize that I was not their brother, but I was their sister." And after I did realize that, the bullying got a lot worse. And that line, from what I have heard multiple people say, isn't in the original Japanese version of the first game. That is a new line about her being trans.
Yeah, it's I mean I don't know about the original Japanese version, but I saw that line. I was like, holy shit, is that real? Is that actually in a Nintendo game? And I looked it up and it apparently is.
Okay, just like listening 6 seconds in, yeah, this Rogueport goes really hard.
Yeah.
This is the Hoenn version of Rogueport. There's so many trumpets.
So many trumpets.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm just like looking at a quick thing about all the differences. Apparently they've added new shortcuts and stuff to make some of the backtracking for the troubles less annoying.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, the fact that you can't unlock the quick way to Koopa Town, I forget what it's called. You can't unlock that
Petalburg, I think.
until you get the second hammer. It's like, well, I don't want to go back there after I get my hammer upgrade. I'm not gonna go do that. And the fact that you don't teleport right away is annoying.
You get it with the first hammer upgrade.
That's right. Your second hammer.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
Like when you call Charizard the third evolution.
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, it's very annoying in this game, so I'm glad it's less annoying there.
And apparently there are some post-game bosses. Ooh, I just saw what the post-game bosses are.
Is Prince Mush one of them?
Yes.
Yes! Oh, that's good to hear. The master in the first Paper Mario is, I think, the only fightable Toad in Paper Mario, and now I'm like, yeah, we get Mush too. That's two, and they're both obscene badasses, I'm sure.
I am so glad to hear that Prince Mush is has been added. That's so cool. Also, apparently, you can fight the Wacka.
What? Oh, it's so funny. There's a lot of mods, like people doing ROM hacks and things that added that, and it's yay that they've actually made that a feature now.
Man, I want to play the remake. Unlike
Same.
Paper Mario 1, I feel like this is not a game that I could just replay immediately.
Yeah.
But I will want to replay it at some point, and I will definitely want to play the remake because it's beautiful, and I like all these changes and additions they've apparently done.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very cool. Anything else anyone wants to talk about before we wrap it up?
I'm trying to think of if there's anything, but no. I enjoyed this chapter, and I look forward to the next one because it's about to go off the rails.
I'm ready for it.
I'm ready to go to the moon.
Yes, to the. No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying a crypto phrase. Fuck that. I don't want audio of that on the internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip it out of context and
No,
blackmail you with it.
no.
But that'll do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us cover the costs of running the show and making it better and better. If you set up a recurring monthly donation, you also get some additional benefits. If you donate $1 more a month, you get access to our bonus feed, where this week I'm back on the JRPG canon wagon. Thanks to Bernard being sick and was like, hey, do a JRPG canon so I can have another video game to play that I don't have to pick what it is. So we did Live Alive, and excited for that. So you can head on over there to check that out by the time that you hear this.
I really want to play that game at some point.
Or no, not by the time that you hear this. In a couple of days after you hear this. That's what it is. We record not in the same order that we post, so it's backwards and messes with my brain a little. But you also get to access our polls to decide what game we play next on the main feed. Our next game is Persona 3 Reload, and then after that is a really spicy, really cool season of games that I'm excited for everybody to pick the weird answer each time, because
yes,
that's who votes on these polls are weirdos who want the underdogs to win. If you want to donate $5 or more a month, we'll also shout out your name at the end of every episode, just like this. Shoutouts to Cerebral Wind, It's Clear Time, Frosthair, Dragonslayer 19, Floris, Kaldron, Freddy Rodriguez, 8euron524, and JFro Prime. And then finally, if you love us so much and you want to donate $20 or more a month, we also get to make me say a sentence of your choosing, either to plug something or just to make me say a specific sentence that you want to hear. So shoutouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. And shoutouts to Vimk, who wants you to play Legend of Legaia, a game whose game script has the word evil in it 46 times. And then
Nice.
Shoutouts to
it's
Car.
a lot of evil.
That is a lot of evil. But honestly, a little less evil than I thought it would be in a JRPG. So intriguing. It's either a lot of evil or not that much evil, and you should play the game to find out which one it is. And then shoutouts to Carr, who is a dentist, so he isn't plugging a website, but rather your own mouth, and he says to brush your teeth twice a day, most importantly, the time before you go to bed. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam Allman.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks. No Trish bye?
No,
Wow.
No,
I'm
Trish,
too
bye.
tired. Has that become I didn't even think. I was like, am I forgetting something? No. Has that just become a staple of me being on the podcast?
It's a third seat thing that's always happened. Eli did it, and then when Eli left, Maddie did it, and then Maddie left, and then you started doing it. There's been no rules. It's just always happened where somebody
You know
says
what?
bye after I say toodaloo.
I don't want to fail my position then. I don't want to fail my those who've come before me. Bye.